For years, I felt like one of the apes, 2001 Space Odyssey, you know, when they're like at that, like, I don't understand it. How does it taking like my guitar? And I was like, I don't know how to use. Hey folks, Thomas here. Welcome back to Mears Lab. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff that's been happening over here at the studio, so I'd like to update you all on what's been going on. Up until this point, the Mears Lab YouTube channel has basically just been sort of like a creative playground for me. Just a place to sort of, you know, like when I have ideas for different videos or just whatever I'm sort of interested in at the moment, it's just a place for me to sort of put it so I can share it with the world. And, you know, it's been a lot of fun over the past few years, but over the past few months, I've really sort of fallen more and more in love with it. And I've reconnected with my musical past as well, too. And I've decided to combine the two of them into one. So from this point forward, the Mears Lab channel is going to still have all of the cool stuff in it, like what I've done before, like soldering and repairs and all kinds of like amplifiers and pedals and guitars and all kinds of neat stuff like that. But it's all going to be sort of like musically focused, sort of an idea right now. And I'm sort of still figuring out sort of like the feel of all the content and everything, but something I really want to do is have some continual updates about what's happening in the Mears studio environment. So if there's ever anything that you're curious about or something you want to see, then please be sure to let me know in your favorite way of letting me know. So here are the official Mears Lab updates for today, which is December 15th, 2022. And I guess I'll just get started right at the top of the list here, but these updates are not really in any particular order. Okay, so let's get started. I think the biggest and most exciting thing for me to announce is I have finally, after so many years, decades really, I've finally actually begun the process of formally, properly releasing my music. Woohoo! It's so cool. I'm so excited by it. This is such awesome news. What I mean by that is like although I've played music my whole life and I did the whole band thing and all of that sort of stuff, you know, I never actually like professionally released any music, although I've recorded and written music my whole life. You know, I just record it and listen to it here at home, and I don't really do much with my music after that. And but I decided to start releasing my music on streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify. I'm basically working out the details to get my music on a whole bunch of streaming services right now, and it's all quite a mystery to me, all of that sort of stuff. But I'm working it out, and it's going really good right now. And I hope that within the next couple of weeks, I should have a pretty good selection of music available for streaming online, and I can't wait to share that with everybody. Here I thought I might mention a few songs that I am going to be posting, or that are already on their way to being on the streaming services right now that I'm particularly excited about. I did an original song, which is, it's not the first original song I released on this platform, but it's sort of like the first modern original song I've done. So this is, I guess, not like the latest song I've written, but it's the latest song that I've recorded. It's called Talk of the Town, and it has sort of like my most modern sort of production on it. And that song means a lot to me because I'm sort of just getting over a fear of singing in public, and it's going pretty good. And that was a song where I was really trying to work on my timbre, like my vocal tone a bit more, and I'm super humiliated to like experiment with stuff like that out in public, but I got to get over my fear, and this is just how I'm doing it, is I'm just putting myself out there, sort of warts and all, you know, because I figure, well, you know, I'm inspired by folks like Frank Black. And I think that, you know, if somebody can fall in love with a voice like his, then maybe somebody can fall in love with a voice like mine as well too. You know, it feels really great once you put something out there that you're really scared to put out there. You know, it feels terrifying actually right before you're about to do it. But then once you hit the button, it feels so great. And like the traversal of like the dynamic of going from like that extreme low to like such an extreme high in that super fast moment, like the literal click of a button, is so cool. It feels really good. So yeah, if there's anything in your life that you're thinking about doing that with, then I encourage you to please do it, because it feels really good. Like, yeah, I think that's all the motivation you really need for it, really, you know. Okay, let's keep going here because I have so much stuff and I ramble so much here. Okay, anyways, I've got a Mariah Carey cover up there as well too. That'll be my Christmas song for this year. I did a cover of All I Want for Christmas Is You, of course, by Mariah, the great Mariah Carey. I also, I've got a Taylor Swift cover coming out as well too. I did a cover of her song Anti-Hero. And I also have a cover of Blur's Song 2 from one of the Big Shiny Tunes albums that Much Music put out years ago. And oh yeah, I did another Christmas tune as well too. I haven't really talked about that one too much, but I've got an instrumental cover of the Carol of the Bells, and that'll be out here coming up soon. And then the other one that I've got up there is I've got a really old song of mine called Forever in a Moment up, and it sounds really sort of raunchy, the recording, but it's totally original, and I decided to keep it like that and not update it or do anything with it. It's just like the original demo that I recorded, I don't know, like 20 years ago or something like that. And a few friends of mine asked me to put it online years and years ago, and I never did. And I just wanted to finally get it online because I said I would. And so I have finally put Forever in a Moment in its original form online, and it should be available hopefully within, well, the next couple of weeks, just like the rest of these songs here as well too. And just speaking about putting it up in its original form, I think that that's important because like I really believe in the idea of creating a record, and I think that it's really cool to think about it in a literal sense. Like when you're recording something, you are literally creating a record, like a file you'll put inside of like a filing cabinet or something like that, you know, a record of what you sound like at a certain point of time. And you know, like I sounded pretty rough around the edges back then, you know, and I still sound pretty rough around the edges now, actually. But there's something kind of neat about that, you know, and I think that it feels good to just be comfortable with that and just to sort of have some courage to put yourself out there, even though you're sort of embarrassed by it, you know, and sort of, so I guess that's sort of like my motivation for putting Forever in a Moment out there as well too. So I hope you enjoy it, folks. That's a really, really old song, but yeah, it felt good to put that one out there. Well, I've got a Mariah Carey video, and it's up there on my TikTok channel. That's where I did an actual video for the All I Want for Christmas Is You. And I've got a video for the Blur Song 2 up on TikTok as well too. Yeah, I just wanted to mention real quickly, my video output has been kind of slow over the past few weeks. But that's because I've been putting a lot of time and effort into my musical output right now. But I really want to bring the video output back up again. And now that I've sort of, I feel like I've been catching up with music for over the past few weeks, and I've pretty well caught up now. So I think that, you know, I can really start putting some more time and effort into the video front again, and I'm really looking forward to it because I really miss making the videos. I just want to mention a few people that have been like outstandingly supportive to me over the past little while, and just a really special mention to them because they really mean a lot to me. First and foremost, my wife and best friend Bobby Jo has been like my #1 supporter. She just gives me the strength and the courage to follow my dreams, and that is just such an awesome thing to be able to do, and boy is she ever good at it. I love her so much, so thank you so much, Bobby Jo. There's another person I'd like to send a big special thank you to, and his name is Miles Kinney. He's a really old friend of mine, and the reason I'd like to send a big special thank you to Miles is because he is the most courageous person that I have ever met, and he is the person that inspires me to be courageous in life. I think that it's important to let the people in your life know when they inspire you, and let them know just how important they are to you in your life. Let's take a second to talk about the social media platforms that you can find Mears Lab stuff on. I am currently on TikTok, and you can just find me under Mears Lab. On YouTube, of course. Mears Lab is soon, within the next couple of weeks, to be on major streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, as well as a bunch of the other ones too. And you can always find Mears Lab stuff on SoundCloud. SoundCloud is somewhere where I post sort of more experimental and more demos. So if you want to hear some sort of deep cuts and rarities and just frankly just some weird stuff, like go to my SoundCloud page, because I post stuff there that I would dare not post anywhere else. But yeah, but just be prepared before you listen to some of that stuff, because some of it gets pretty crazy, okay? I've made songs out of lamps and things like that before. Like, it gets nuts over there. Anyways, it's fun, though. I've been pushing myself to start doing some collaborations, and the reason why I've been doing that is to try and fix this whole, like, anxiety thing that I have. And I figure the best way to deal with social anxiety is to just, like, throw yourself right into it and honestly, just like do the most terrifying things, like invite people over here to the Mears Lab studio to hang out and like go out for coffee. Anyways, I got myself some major social anxiety going on over here, but that's okay. You know, I'm not the only person in the world who's got it going on. And I think that it is a good thing to reach out to other people and invite them over to the Mears Lab studio to have coffee. And I'm really excited because there are some cool collabs that are coming up as well too. I have a couple of friends that have popped over, a couple of musical friends, and we've been sort of discussing some ideas and sort of like doing some demos together. And I have some guest vocalists lined up for some songs as well too. And it's really cool, you know? It's really fun talking to other people about this sort of stuff and making music together with other people and sharing your sort of creative ideas. It just feels wonderful. It's really fun. I've been having some tuning issues with my guitar lately. I'm noticing on my 7-string guitar that the low B string is a real bugger to keep in tune all the time. It's like either way too sharp or way too flat and almost never perfectly bang on in tune, and it doesn't really seem to make a difference what sort of gauge of strings I use or like if I tune it down a little bit more or up a little bit more, or I like try to like look and then like work with the nut and smooth it out or what, any of that sort of stuff, you know. I don't know, but I do suspect that it has something to do with the nut on the guitar or the bridge or the intonation or the neck or something like that, but honestly I can't be bothered. I've been kind of lazy about it, and I haven't really put as much effort into fixing it as I should. But because of that, you know, I'm kind of taking the lazy approach, and I've been like online, like mad shopping for like new guitars, you know, and it's so silly because the guitar I have is just fine. It works great, and I know how to make it sound just dandy as well too. You know, I don't need a new guitar, but boy, oh boy, like the thing that happens in my brain, as soon as an issue happens on my guitar, I'm just like, that's it, give up, that's it, I give up, I'm not playing the guitar anymore, I'm just buying a brand new one. It's just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sure there's probably a way easier fix for it that I have put zero effort into actually trying to remedy at this point, but hopefully I will try to remedy that before I try to actually buy a new guitar, because the irony of it is it usually takes way more effort to buy a new guitar than to actually just fix the problem that you have with the guitar you already own, right? But, like, it's such a hard lesson to actually live by, though, because it is so fun to buy a new guitar. I don't know. And it's been a really long time since I did buy a new guitar. Like, anyways, well, I guess I got a new bass a few months ago, but that's not the same thing. That's a bass guitar. It's not the same as an electric guitar, especially a 7-string guitar. Oh, boy. Anyways, you know what? Let's just move on. I don't want to keep talking about guitars. I get too excited about it. I'm having a lot of fun breaking rules in the studio lately. I think that it's happened because, well, frankly, like a few years ago, I just got super burnt out of the music industry and everything to do with it, and I basically just hung my guitar up on the wall and just sort of forgot that music ever happened in my life for a few years there. But I'm back now, and it's all good and stuff like that, you know. But anyways, you know, during that sort of process, I sort of got fed up with following the rules of recording, you know, like I know how you're supposed to EQ things and use the compressor, but it is just not fun when you have to play by the rules all the time, you know? So I'm all about breaking the rules in the studio these days. Like the other day, I was like recording my guitar, and no kidding, I turned the peak reduction of my compressor up all of the way. Like, that's nuts. You're not supposed to do that. Like, studio engineers would see that and they would scoff and they would say, what are you doing? You were not supposed to use it like that. It's going to be so, and all of the sort of stuff that's going to go wrong with the signal, you know. But don't know. I just like turned the knob up all the way, and I was like, it just sounds really good. I don't care. Like, I don't know. And it just feels so good to work like that, Like, anyway, so that's sort of my philosophy in the studio these days. Is it appears like I have no idea what I'm doing, and for the most part, yeah, really, I don't know what I'm doing, but in some ways I know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to forget all of the stuff I learned and trying to just have fun in the studio these days, and it's working, and it's awesome. Something else that I'm working towards is live streams. I'm interested in doing maybe like some live stream mixing sessions, or some live stream recording sessions, or maybe like just like messing around with guitar tones or something like that, And if there's anything in particular that you want to see, don't forget that you can always let me know down below in the comment section. Yeah! I've got a few items coming up for repair on the bench as well too. I have this really neat old reel-to-reel from Akai, and I have this other really cool stereo preamp, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to integrate this into the setup just yet, but I plan to sort of use it as just sort of like a tone shaping thing, and I might sort of wire it through my interface so I can pass sounds out of my computer and through this preamp and then back into it to just sort of add some really cool EQ to them, because the EQ on it sounds so good. It is a really cool sounding EQ. Here's another thing that I'd like to talk about on Mears Lab. Education. I am a lifetime learner. Here's something that I learned recently, which was not a great thing, but it is something I learned. I learned that my Boss DD200 delay pedal does not have panning delays built into it, except for the pattern delay, which is like, it's okay, but it's not what I was looking for. And the irony of it is like, that's the whole reason I bought the delay pedal, but when I went in to get it, I totally forgot what I was looking for initially, and I got sort of like swept up in all the other features on the pedal, and I fell in love with the sound of it as well too. But, now it really bugs me that it doesn't have ping pong delays in it. Like, it's stereo, but it doesn't have like true ping pong delays built into it, except for that pattern setting, which like doesn't really work that great, Anyways, so that's sort of bugging me a bit now, so, I'm gonna keep sort of picking away at that, and so I think moving forward in the future, I am going to try to integrate some sort of an outboard delay unit into my mixing setup here, that I have the ability to do beat synced delays. Like if I hook it up through MIDI, I really want to be able to sync those delay times. And it makes me yearn for like some of the processors that I used to have years ago. Oh man, I've had so many cool things over the years that I wish I never got rid of, Oh wow. I think the processor that I missed the most was this really cool Lexicon one that I had. It wasn't one of the PCM models. It was what the heck was it called? It was an MPX1. That's what it was. A Lexicon MPX1. Is that what it was? Something like that. Anyways, it had like the same processor as one of the bigger PCM reverbs, but instead of using two of them, it only used one processor or something like that. And then the other processor was used for the other effects built into it. So anyways, it was a really great sounding reverb. I wish I still had it, and the delays were so good on it. But that thing was a nightmare to program, though. I remember that. But anyways, let's move on. I've been doing a lot of cover songs, and I'm learning a lot about arranging by analyzing other people's music and sort of like learning exactly how they arranged the song, and then also like rearranging their songs as well too. Like something I've been doing is like importing wave files that I make, like my own personal recordings for my own personal use. And I'll do is I'll take like recordings of some of my favorite songs, and I'll like load it into Reason, which is the DAW that I use, and then I'll like sync it to the grid, and then I can like chop up the song into different parts and like rearrange the order of various parts. And oh, hold on, I got a thing going on over there. Yeah, and then I can like rearrange the song into different parts, and I can give it like extra choruses or shorten up the verses or whatever I want to do with the song. It's really fun, And I've started to look at my own music and analyzing my own music at it, and started to ask questions like, hey, what is the motivation behind this segment of the song? Like what is this what is this doing for the message in the song and what I wanted to get across with the idea, you know? And is it adding to that, or is it taking away from it in the arrangement, you know? And just simple things like how many bars is the intro? You're like, how many times do you repeat the second chorus versus the third chorus, you know? Things like that. Anyways, it's really, really cool. Arranging is super fun, and I love it. Oh, here's another thing I just learned recently. It's kind of embarrassing, this one. I just recently learned how to do swing in Reason. It's like, for years, I felt like I was like one of the apes at the start of 2001 Space Odyssey, you know, when they're like at that like obelisk and they're like, wow, what is this thing? I don't understand it. How does it work? You know? And I was like taking like my guitar and like banging on the computer, and I was like, I don't know how to use the swing in the software. And I tried reading about it and I just could not retain the knowledge or understand. I don't know what it was, but I just could not figure it out. So like basically for the past 10 years, the entire time I've been using Reason, I have never incorporated swing into like any of my music, and if I had, it was by pure luck that I somehow managed to do it. But anyways, I finally figured out how to do it, and it was like super easy to do and super easy to remember as well too. I have no idea how I could not understand how to do swing and Reason before, but it's like I just wanted to mention it because it's like, it's just so funny sometimes, you know, like what we can do versus what we can't do, because sometimes the things you can do are actually pretty complex, and like the things you can't do are so much more simpler in comparison to the complex things that you can do, you know? It's just kind of funny, like what really hangs us up in life sometimes, you know? Anyways, I guess it's just sometimes it's not necessarily what you're looking at in life. It's like, it's how you look at it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need to look at a problem from a different perspective to gain a different understanding about it. Let's talk about this whole 7-string guitar thing that's been going on lately. Basically, in a nutshell, I have in my entire life always dreamed about playing the 7-string guitar. Ever since the very first time I ever heard the band Korn, and I used to read about, you know, the band and their experiences with playing the guitar and Guitar World and Guitar Player magazines, and I just fell in love with that instrument, and I always wanted to play one, and I didn't actually ever buy one before a few months ago. I finally bought one here, and I'm just having the time of my life in the Mears Lab studio with that 7-string guitar, and I just haven't gotten it all out of my system yet. So I'm probably going to be rocking out pretty hard on that for the next little while. But I'm already kind of getting a little tired of doing just like heavy stuff on it, although I will never be tired of doing heavy, you know, but like, yeah, I'm trying to sort of explore a few different sonic boundaries with the guitar, and I'm really trying to do stuff that hasn't been done before on it, and I'm trying to stay true to myself and just try to be open-minded and experimental with it, and especially with the tones that I'm getting out of the guitar. And I'm trying to play around with more clean tones, but I don't want it to get all jazzy and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with jazz, you know, like, but I still want it to, I don't know, I want it to sound 7-stringy, but like not 7-stringy at the same time, if you know what I mean. I don't know. Anyways, I'm really digging the 7-string guitar. Well, folks, it's pretty much time to wrap up the video now. And I've decided that I'd like to end the videos on an inspirational note. You know, I just want to say that I think that it's really important to stick to your roots, folks. I found that, you know, I fell out of touch with something I loved a lot. And I went searching for a replacement for that feeling for a long time, and I felt lost, and it was a terrible feeling, and I had no idea how horrible it felt and how horrible I was feeling, you know. And I gotta say, you know, like, I'm looking around in the world, and like, I hate to get too serious here, folks, but there is so much apathy out there these days. It is just crazy, you know, like, and I think that the world just needs a lot more positivity and inspiration in it, you know? So I'm just gonna say, like, for me, remembering my roots is what helped to recenter me and bring balance back to my life. I had to be honest and realize that I was not happy, And then I had to figure out how to fix that as well too. And it took a long time, and it takes a lot of patience, but it can be done. And you can do it too, just like I did as well. But you gotta start with the truth, be honest with yourself, and just don't be too hard on yourself, folks. And remember your roots, remember where you came from, and be true to yourself. Okay? So on that note, I guess we'll end the video here. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.